So yes, guys, the thumbnail is not just for clickbait. I did indeed get robbed while doing a OfferUp transaction. Now, this incident happened, I would say about 3 years ago, but it's still relevant today because what I'm about to share with you is just good practices to follow when buying, used videography gear online like OfferUp and eBay and all these other platforms. They're very, very similar. I just wanted to share my experience and how I got scammed actually 2 times on these platforms. So hopefully you learn from my mistakes and it does not happen to you. So the first time what happened was I was doing a transaction on OfferUp and I was selling my iPad Pro at the time. And at that time, I was doing my due diligence with who I was going to be, interacting with. And the person had, good ratings. They made the account, a couple of years back. So all of these things, that's basically kind of like what you were able to do back, 3-4 years ago on OfferUp to kind of do your due diligence. There wasn't much more that you could do to verify if this individual is going to be okay. So after all of those things, I was texting the person back and forth, and they, agreed to come meet me in my, apartment building. It's, a big high rise, a bunch of people everywhere. And I thought, okay, nobody's going to scam me in front of my high-rise building here, right? So the guy shows up in his car and he's actually in the passenger seat and he has a girl driving the car. And he comes out and he looks at the iPad. He's like, oh man, it looks good. Can you unlock it? Let me, check it out, make sure it works. I'm like, okay, no problem. I unlock it. He gets, he's like, let me, he just walks over to his car and, sits down and he's like, yeah, looks good. And then he just, shuts his door and just leaves. In this, whole situation, I kept my composure, I kept calm, and I just, took a picture of his license plate because they were not that far away. I was still able to capture his license plate. So then later on, I contacted the police, of course, and, they did their investigation and they just really were not able to recover my iPad Pro from this individual. So I lost out on this iPad, which was a total bummer. Now the other one, this also happened on OfferUp, and this one was a little bit more sophisticated than the first one. So I would say this happened about 3 years ago as well. I was buying a graphics card. It was like a, NVIDIA GPU. It was a RTX 2080 or whatever, right? So same thing. I did my due diligence as best as I could from this person's, profile. And I saw, they had good reviews. They had just, they created the account a few years back. So, all great things. I reach out to the guy and I talk to him. I say, hey, would you be able to ship it to me? And I felt comfortable buying it online because, OfferUp has this like protection thing or whatever, just like similar to like kind of what PayPal does. So everything went smooth. The guy shipped out the package. I got my tracking information and the box arrived a few days later. Now, listen to this. What was in the box was just the heatsink of the graphics card. So if you know anything about graphics card, you have the main board, which is the actual, graphics card. And then you have this like thick piece on top, which is called a heatsink that dissipates all the heat. So this guy shipped me just the heatsink and he kept the graphics card. Now it was my responsibility at this point to prove to OfferUp and to prove to Amex that this guy indeed scammed me. Now this brings me to another very important point. These scammers, they know how PayPal works, how OfferUp works. So really the burden falls on you. Like who is there to say that, I got the box, I opened it up, and I just claimed, oh yeah, there was nothing inside. The guy shipped me an empty box. How do I prove this, right? So to be able to prove that I got scammed, I really had to get creative. So what I did was I went to NVIDIA's website. I saw how heavy RTX 2080 is supposed to be. Then I looked at my, FedEx tracking information and I saw what the package actually weighed in at. And there was like a discrepancy of, a pound or something or 2 pounds or whatever it was. On top of that, I took screenshots of the actual graphics card that he had posted. He still didn't take it down, but I took screenshots, and with the pictures, I was able to prove that, yes, indeed, the guy was shipping me a heatsink and not the full, GPU here. So after back and forth with OfferUp and Amex, I was able to get my money back. But now imagine, this can happen to absolutely everybody, and you're going to be out, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, guys, this brings me to the main point of this entire video. You have to be extremely careful when you're buying cameras that are very, very trendy and popular in 2025 and in the future. So right now, in this very moment, Sony FX3, the Canon G7X, the Osmo Pocket 3, the Fujifilm X100V, and the VI, they are all scammer heaven. Those cameras, if you see them on eBay, if you see them on OfferUp, if you see them on Facebook Marketplace, guys, most of the time, the posting is fake. I'm telling you right now, most of the time, the posting is going to be fake. These cameras are amongst the most used images to scam people because these scammers know that these cameras are in extremely high demand. So if they are being presented to you in a very attractive price point, you're going to just let your logic kind of go by the wayside and you're going to just buy it. And the burden of proof is going to be on you. You have to prove that whatever you received, whether it be a box of rocks or whatever it was inside of that box, was indeed that coming from the actual seller and not, you doing that. So how do you prove that? It is extremely difficult. Now, let me just quickly talk about the Canon G7X. I know this camera is in extremely high demand. It's an older camera, but it is becoming extremely trendy, and it is probably the most dangerous camera out of all the ones I had mentioned previously. I will say because it is a very trendy camera, and a lot of the people that are buying this camera are just getting into photography. They're not wanting to spend, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a camera. They're gonna want to spend something under $1,000, and they get influenced by influencers taking these amazing images from this camera. So they're just going to go out there and try to get this camera at what the real fair market value should be. But of course, we all know the camera has, a high price associated to it. So it is like literally double the price of what it was, 2-3 years ago. So when people are shopping for these cameras, not only are they really not seasoned photographers, and they don't really understand what this camera is supposed to be selling for, and then layer on top of that they're probably most likely not doing their due diligence when it comes to what's real, what's fake. And this is all being engineered by these scammers to specifically target specific people and take their money from them. So guys, I'm going to show you a few things to be aware of when you're shopping online, especially OfferUp, eBay. All of these little platforms, they all function the same way, and the scammers all have this like repetitive procedure on how to strip you from your money and scam you. Okay guys, so we are right now on ebay.com. One of my favorite places to buy things from. And I'll be honest with you, I have been using eBay since like 2012. So trust me, I have seen it all. I have bought, I have sold things. I have dealt with some crazy people saying they never got their item or the item came damaged or whatever. All of those crazy things, trust me, I have seen it all. Now, I am at the point right now where when I sell stuff, I don't sell it anywhere outside the United States because I got scammed one time. I sent an item out. The tracking information is what it is when it's in the United States. And then once it leaves the United States, the tracking information is different. And then they have these whole different procedures on how they track stuff and how they, recognize stuff was delivered. So I just said, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm not selling anything outside the United States. And I do require that people, when they receive the item, it has to be FedEx. And there has to be a signature from the actual person it's, going to. Okay, so we're just going to go in and type in Canon G7X. Now, of course, like I said, this is like, scam heaven right here. So let's see, what people are doing here. So one of the, the absolute first thing that I look for is this right here, okay? Like you see this person has 96.6% reviews. That's not too bad. Obviously, ideally, you want somebody that has 100% ratings. So we have this person right here. This one is 100%. He has 100 transactions. This is legit. 100% legit. Okay? And one of the things I want to say right now, right off the bat, is that eBay is getting much, much better at detecting fraud, right? I'm looking at this right now and I see that most of these look legitimate to me. I mean, like this person, 554, transactions, 100%, rating. This is legit. You keep going, you're looking for, a good deal over here, right? Like, right here. Like this is clearly fake, right? This person has 12 transactions, but a 0 rating, okay? So something like this is a no-go. Like just trust me, you do not want to buy anything from anybody with a 0% review, okay? Just don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. You'll have, another one here, right here, right? 3 transactions, 0% reviews. Like just garbage. Don't even look at that. Another one here. So another one here. You're going to have, eBay is pretty good. They're much better than they used to be, but you're still going to come across some of these postings that are just not going to be good. They're not going to be real. And, eBay can't catch them all. So a lot of times if you go through these different pages here to find something that's, cheaper than what you're seeing, that's when you're going to start seeing the scammers more and more and more. Okay, so let's go to OfferUp.com. Okay, we're going to do Canon G7X, the most scammy camera right now. Not because the camera is a scam, but because the scammers are all about this camera. So this person right here, they want $1,200 for this camera. This is legit because it's a stupid price, and they have 39 transactions. They have 5-star reviews. They made the account back in 2019. This is legit, but total ripoff from this person, right? Let's look at this one, right? $500. Okay. This person joined April of 2025, and they're selling this camera for $500. Okay. You just saw that the other guy wanted $1,200. Why in the world would this guy want $500? Like these guys are using OfferUp just like me and you. They're going through OfferUp just like you and I. So they see all the prices. Like this is not a desperate person. This is not somebody that is stupid. If you own this camera, you know what you have. This is a hype camera, guys, okay? Brand new in box. Okay. So anyway, we're going to go further down like this one right here, Dallas, Texas for $420. Of course, this person, same thing. They made the account May 2025. 0 reviews, $400 for this camera. Yeah, right. So then let's see this one right here. This one's $700. This one might be legit because it is, well, even this one is not legit, okay? First of all, screenshot from the camera, and then you have person making the account. Even though it's not recent, it's still recent enough to where this is fake, okay? This person wants $700 for this camera. Even this, I would not consider a legitimate posting. Like you're going to get robbed, or they're going to start giving you excuses like, oh, I can only ship it out, even though you're like, 20 miles from them or 20 minutes from them. They're still going to make excuses. And if they don't make excuses, I highly advise that you meet this person in like a police station or something, or like a shopping mall or whatever, where they can't like run away with your money. But like this one, I would totally pass on it. Okay, Mark II. Okay, this one, this one might be legit. Like this guy made this account back in 2017, 16 transactions with 5-star reviews. Like this one looks legit. This is a person that I would probably feel out. I would ask them different questions. I would ask them for more pictures, and just have a dialogue with this person just to find out, who this person is and what they're about and how they can meet you. And if they start making excuses, that's not it. That's not for you. This one, of course, fake. $290 for the G7X. Fake. So it looks like this camera is kind of trending between, I don't know, $1,000 for the newer Mark III, $1,000 to $1,500, which is absolutely bananas. So let's see this one right here. Okay, this one fake too, of course. You have, a Mark II. It says used. Like this for sure. Just don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. You're going to see things similar to this on Facebook Marketplace, on Mercari. These scammers are all using a very similar gameplay. Like they're all using the same thing. Now, the other thing I got to tell you, some of these scammers get very sophisticated with what they're doing here. Like they will have, fake transactions where they'll sell, okay, 4 or 5 different things. And they make the account 6 months ago, and they sell 4 or 5 different things when I say sell, they're, using another phone or a friend or whatever to, give them this review that they had, purchased the item. So then it looks like, oh, okay, this person has 5 transactions. They have a 5-star review and they made their account 6 months ago. Like this is, like I'm telling you guys, this is how sophisticated these scammers can get. And trust me, I have seen it. And those are the guys that are putting a little bit more effort into their posting. And those are the guys that are actually scamming the most amount of people. Now, I will tell you what, OfferUp, Mercari, especially Mercari is like, man, scammer heaven. Facebook Marketplace. It's almost like, these scammers are using AI and bots and whatever to just generate, hundreds of these posts. And it's like OfferUp and Mercari and all these other guys are like fighting to take it off in real time. So sometimes, like, for example, sometimes I'll go to OfferUp and I'll save a post because I think that this post looks legitimate. I'll save it, I'll put a heart on it or whatever. And then like a week later, it'll say something like, oh, this listing was removed because it was whatever, a scam. So that is it for me, guys. I hope that you learned something today. You know what they say, learn from other people's mistakes. So I really, truly hope that you learn from some of the mistakes that I have made in the past, some of the things that I'm implementing now to kind of avoid these scammers and these people. And if you have not subscribed yet, I would be so grateful if you subscribe to my little channel because it helps other people see this video so other people don't get scammed. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.